Ilana Rubenfeld is the founder of a form of emotional processing known as the Rubenfeld Synergy Method. For the past 4 decades, Ilana has trained thousands of therapists in her teachings, which are in use around the world. And she has helped hundreds of clients discover truths about themselves that were inaccessible through other means.
Rubenfeld Synergy is a radical departure from traditional forms of therapy. It combines the techniques of the verbal Gestalt therapy, developed by Laura and Fritz Perls, with a system of gentle body work and touch derived from the Alexander technique and the Feldenkrais method. Ilana developed this approach during the 60s and 70s, when many areas of traditional therapy and medicine were first being questioned.
I created a form that Buckminster Fuller called Synergy. He saw me do Rubenfeld Synergy, and he looked at me and he said, "Ilana, you are no longer integrating Feldenkrais, Alexander, Gestalt therapy. You are doing Synergy." And he said, synergy is when you take elements in the world that are known or you can recognize, but when you bring them together, the result can be a new element that may not be predictable.
Buckminster Fuller was right. The therapy that Ilana created was unpredictable. It was also extraordinarily successful. Clients who have experienced Rubenfeld Synergy report remarkable changes in their lives. The same unpredictable quality that defines Rubenfeld Synergy could also be used to describe Ilana's own life. After a series of dislocating moves when she was a young girl, Ilana began a career as a musician and conductor, only to be almost incapacitated by severe back pain associated with her work. In her search to heal herself, she discovered the techniques that would help so many others and created a new life for herself in the process. Ilana Rubenfeld, the founder of the Rubenfeld Synergy Method.
Every Rubenfeld Synergy session has a form to it, even though the content may be a mystery and we may not know. It has a beginning. It has a development like music, a theme, a beginning. The theme gets developed and has a middle portion. And finally, there's a way that it comes to closing, an ending. What is it in life that you want to get into?
I want to say life. I mean, I want to be engaged with it. I want to be pretty...
What aspect? Let's choose an aspect, because life is a very big thing. So what really is attracting you right now?
Working with my hands, my art.
Art. What about art? Tell me about art.
Theater, dancing, maybe writing. That's carpentry.
Carpentry.
Yeah. Oh, a house comes to mind.
A house. Tell me about the house you want to build. Now you can lie down. Now you can lie down. We really got, this is really something that's very, yeah, okay. So let that, yeah.
I'm really quite afraid to tell you this, sort of like, putting it out. I just,
It's okay.
It's like a house in the woods. It's just a house. It's a wooden house, and it's really beautiful. It's got a fireplace. It's maybe near the ocean.
A beautiful wooden house with a fireplace.
And it's really simple, actually all I want to do is be I've never been able to be a lowly carpenter. That's the whole point. I just had to always...
What did you always have to be? Always
center of attention.
Center of attention, probably on. Had to be on, right?
A lot, like full volume.
Full volume, full blast, skiing, moving, doing all that stuff, huh?
I had to, I know it stands for my life. I know that's what it stands for. It feels to me like it stands for just my life, my own life.
Yes, it's my house, it's my life, it's my body. It's me. It's my soul. Yes, it's your soul. Yeah. Yeah, it's your soul.
I just don't feel any me in me. Most of the time, I just gonna lose it.
That's right. That's why your house is so important, Tony. Okay, let's create a headline. Tony fucks up and becomes carpenter. Announcement in the social section of the paper.
You are so right on, you don't know.
The social thing is, guess what, guys? You know, this guy that used to be in our circles and stuff, guess what he's doing? He's a carpenter.
Far from becoming Mr. San Francisco, young William Creighton Pete has fucked up and has become a carpenter. I can do what I want to do myself. I can do what I want to do myself.
That's right.
But I can't do what you want me to do.
That's right.
When I try to do that, I feel all this intense pressure and all of this.
Of course, because that's not what you want to do. Can you tell her? I don't want to do, and I won't do what you want me to do.
I won't do what you want me to do.
And when you get your own home, in your own house, you're going to be able to get together very fine.
I believe you.
Oh, absolutely. But you got to get your own house first.
Yeah.
You got a different dance.
We got a different dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In some sense, just as she did while she was at Juilliard as a young conductor in training, Ilana Rubenfeld is still conducting today. Although her orchestra now speaks with the voice of one individual, and the accolades she receives are no longer written by music critics, orchestras and choruses who perform with her, who were trained to respond to her every gesture, are not that different from her Synergy trainees who need closely to observe her every move in order to understand and internalize her techniques.
Ilana was the only woman conductor in any of the large orchestra programs.
And the role of conductor is one that Ilana has been comfortable with since she was very young. Her parents, Leo Churgin, an engineer, and Bluma, a ballerina in her native Russia, had moved to Palestine in the early 30s. Most of her mother's family managed to join them there, but her father's family would be virtually wiped out in the Holocaust. Leo, trained as an engineer, found that the opportunities were somewhat scarce in Palestine. So Bluma packed up her small family and followed her husband to New York in the prospect of more work. Moving to New York was difficult for the 5-year-old Ilana. In the blink of an eye, she had lost half her family, her childhood home, and her native language. The loss of language was particularly difficult for Ilana, who had always been driven by the need to communicate. So she turned to music in order to express her thoughts and feelings. Her sister Lydia also provided her with a close companionship she had lacked as a young girl. When Ilana was 16, she and her mother made a pilgrimage to Israel to see their relatives. But as attached as Ilana was to Israel, and as appealing the young, struggling, exciting country was, it was no longer her home. Her life and work were centered in New York. There, she soon married a young psychiatry student named Frank Rubenfeld. At the same time, she was admitted to Juilliard's graduate program in conducting. But it was her music and not her marriage that would dominate her life over the next 5 years. Soon, Ilana's career as a young conductor was taking off. She became the director of the music program at the 92nd Street Y. Reviews of her early performances were brilliant. Specializing in choral as well as orchestral music, Ilana had begun to make a name for herself in a field almost entirely dominated by men. But in 1965, the rigors of standing for hours on a podium began to take their toll. Few were aware of it, but the young conductor who took up the baton with such loving precision and quiet command was suffering from excruciating back pain, a not infrequent malady among conductors. The back pain sent her to a number of physical therapists and finally to Judith Leibowitz, an instructor in the Alexander technique. It was Leibowitz who would inadvertently serve as a bridge between Ilana's former life as a conductor and her new life unfolding before her.
That woman touched me in a way that felt like her hands were talking to me. She touched my head, that it wasn't just to move my head, but her hands were saying something to me.
The Alexander technique was a revelation to Ilana. It not only relieved her back pain, the gentle body work resulted in something that no one could have predicted, least of all Ilana.
And Judy was touching me very gently, and I had a wave of such emotions, tremendous emotions, and they felt very early and very young. And I began to cry in a very soft, high-pitched voice. I felt very young, very vulnerable. And Judy, who was an Alexander teacher, was not a psychotherapist. She was not an analyst. She didn't know what to do.
Leibowitz suggested psychotherapy. Ilana, frightened but determined, soon found herself in a course of conventional psychiatric analysis.
For 3 years, I went to 2 people. One talked and wouldn't touch, one touched and wouldn't talk. But between the 2 of them, I integrated the information of understanding why I was weeping and crying or laughing. And her gentle touching opened my body.
Ilana was fascinated by the interplay of the purely physical Alexander technique and her purely verbal psychotherapy sessions. She began a course of study to become an Alexander teacher herself, while continuing to conduct, spending 3 summers with the maestro Pablo Casals. But her Alexander clients began to fascinate her far more than her music did. This fascination led her to her first attempts to integrate touch and talk into the form that she would eventually call Rubenfeld Synergy.
I had one woman who came to me for months. Every lesson she left looking really tall, open, and the following week she came in again, very crushed in. And I finally decided one day to explore what that was about. And as we were sitting in a chair, I had my hands on her shoulder, she released something very, very deep. I could feel it in ripples. She released, and her shoulder went from like this to out. And then she began to cry, very high. And I said, "How old are you?" And she said, "I'm 2 years old. I'm very young, 2 years old." And I said to her very gently, "Go back to when you were 2 years old. What comes to you?" She says, "I'm in a crib. I'm in a crib. And I can't move. I can't move." And I asked her, what's happening? And she went through this awful vision of herself in the crib, and she couldn't move. And she said, "I'm tied up." Her mother was so upset about seeing this little girl touch her genitals that she tied her hands up to the bars of the crib. I found out that once we got through this incident about the crib and about all her hands being tied up so she wouldn't touch herself, we had several months of work ahead of us for her to forgive her mother, for her to embrace her mother again as someone whom she could love, because she hated her mother for doing that. And once we got through that, her shoulders relaxed because she didn't have to hold herself up like this anymore. They relaxed and they stayed down.
Ilana's experiences encouraged her to continue to try to combine the Alexander technique with some sort of verbal intervention. Her attempt to integrate touch and talk was a radical departure from accepted psychotherapeutic practice.
Verbal psychotherapists would say to me, "Talk and that's good enough. Just talk and everything will work itself out. The body will take care of itself." And then body workers on the other side would say, "Touch people, massage, deep tissue, and the emotions will take care of themselves." However, they belong together.
In 1968, at the Esalen Institute in California, she met Fritz Perls, who with his wife Laura had founded Gestalt therapy. Gestalt means whole, and the idea of a therapy that advocated wholeness appealed to Ilana.
here appeared Fritz Perls with a therapy that addressed itself to the gestalt of the whole person. However, he didn't use touch. And what he asked me to do, which was really wonderful, he would ask me to come up and put my hands on the client while he did the verbal work and the instructions, the talking. He would ask me what I was feeling in my hands. When they would answer Fritz, I would get the message whether what they were saying to them was in harmony to how they were feeling in their body or it wasn't in harmony. It was so clear. If they really felt what he asked them to do was right, they would breathe differently, whole groups of muscles would soften and energy would start moving. If they were very uptight with what the subject matter was about, they would get more stiff and more holding. And I could feel that immediately in my hands. And so it was very interesting how my hands became more and more sensitive to what the client was saying through their body and how it was or wasn't in harmony with the verbal intervention. And Fritz really he encouraged me immensely. He was very positive and very encouraging to me to bring together my experience as an Alexander teacher with that gentle body work and psychotherapy. The next person I worked with was Moshe Feldenkrais in '71, and I was with him for 10 years. And he brought in, again, a whole other body of knowledge about the nervous system, about movement, that I really felt that it was in harmony, very much in harmony with my work.
The Feldenkrais method consisted of a series of exercises and assisted movements designed to open neural pathways. She now had the tools to create a profound agent of change, a new form of therapy that could only have been created by a woman with Ilana's supportive, non-invasive attitude and unique gifts.
In the score,
Ilana often draws analogies between the content of her former life, music, and the content of her present life, Rubenfeld synergy. The parallels between the various lines that go into making a musical composition and the parts that make up a human being are numerous.
One voice could be the physical movements. Another voice could be the verbal interventions and expressions in our work. Another voice could be your self-care. Another voice could be the movements that you are doing. Another voice could be intentionality. What are you in touch with right at this moment? What are you sensing in your back, in your chest?
Some fear. I feel tears coming already.
So you're sensing fear. Yeah. So can you start with I'm afraid? Just see how you, because it's in your body. It's in your body. I'm afraid. We'll just explore what that's about.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm afraid. So can you continue with that, Deb, with I'm afraid of? And just let whatever comes out come out. I'm afraid of.
I'm afraid to let go.
Okay, what'll happen if you let go? What'll happen? So you might feel better if you let go.
And I was holding on to my feelings.
Okay, so what feelings are you holding on to?
Well, there's something that's been happening in my life very recently,
Yes.
which is that I'm in love, and that's wonderful. But the person I'm in love with, Andy, and I just had our first kind of major, I don't even know if I would call it a disagreement, but it was definitely, we got into talking about a situation where we were not in harmony, and it was very scary. It was the first time I thought that it might not work.
Yeah. So how do you feel about it not working with Andy? Yeah, just let that sit.
I felt terrible the next day. I felt like my heart was breaking.
Yeah.
I almost felt like I had to, that night, Thursday night, I had to make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It was me or him.
Yeah.
And I chose me. And I didn't know whether that was going to mean I was going to lose him or not.
Yeah. So what'll happen if he doesn't, Deb?
And I'm going to have to give him up.
Hmm? That's very important what you just said now. Say that again.
I need to be able to respect myself more than I need him.
I need to respect myself more than I need you.
And I think he likes that I'm standing up for myself.
Yes, yes. And do you like that you're
I
standing up?
love that I'm standing up for myself.
That's it. Rubenfeld Synergy is also an educational process. It's a process in which the practitioner of Rubenfeld Synergy would be teaching you, the client, how to recognize the tension in your body and the techniques and tools and knowledge of how to deal with that tension and learn how to let it go. Evicting two male figures in your life, important ones, son and your father.
And the little girl today felt very sad about not wanting Daddy to leave, knowing that yesterday I told him to leave. And that wasn't the first time I told him to leave either.
But something really
Something is not healed around that. She's both sad and very afraid.
All right. So will you lie down? Okay. So you evicted your son.
I've been trying to do that since June, so obviously it's not totally successful.
And you evicted your father.
That's right.
And you said that you were feeling shaky about evicting your father, your little girl.
My little girl is. The adult me has gone through this and has been on the verge, and then something will stop me from following through.
Okay, so
and that's the little one I discovered today.
Okay, so the adult, Catherine, knows that it's right to let your son go, and it's right to let your father go.
Yes.
But the little one gets really scared.
Yes, she does.
She really gets scared. Okay, so what would you like to tell your little girl?
Well, it's more of a question. That's the whole time I was sitting here, I was telling her that I would take her hand, that she's safe with me, that she knows I'm a strong parent and it's okay.
So tell her that. What do you call your little girl, Catherine?
Cass.
Cass. Okay, Cass. So tell Cass.
It's really okay.
Yes.
I'm here.
Cass, little Cass, I'm here.
I'm really here now, yeah.
Yeah, I am really here now.
I hear your pain and your terror.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa, that one more time. I hear your pain and terror.
I hear your pain and terror.
That's what did it. What?
Something happened with my father and I don't know what it is.
Okay. So little Cass says to us, I got hurt a lot when I was little, and something happened to me, and I don't know what it is. Okay?
I discovered lots of ways I was hurt, but there seems like there's maybe something else lurking. And Daddy, I really love you. He's so special, and I told him that before he died. Daddy, I love you, and I'm sad that you're leaving. You were very special.
Yeah. Dad, I love you, and you were very special, and I'm sad that you're leaving. Yeah. Now see how it feels to say, Dad, I hate you. Dad, I hate you! Okay. Boy, that's got a lot of energy in there. All right, and tell him, I hate you. I hate you, and what? What? Feels very angry. Yeah?
Yeah, that was a surprise.
That was a surprise, huh? Yeah. Go ahead. Let yourself go into that and see what that's about. Dad, I hate you. And tell him what? What? I hate you because. And just let him have it. I hate you! Get out of here! So get out of this body, huh? Yeah. This is my body and it's mine!
This is my body, Ilana.
Yes,
And I am my body, and I am my life.
that's right. And nobody has the right to enter your life or your body without your permission.
This is sacred territory.
This is sacred territory. Yes.
It's about knowing my boundaries.
Yeah, it's about knowing your boundaries, knowing that you're sacred and your body is sacred. That no one in the whole world, family, not family, anybody, has the right to enter your sacred territory without your permission, because that's your boundary. This belongs to you and nobody else. From the minute you were born, and coming up to your mouth, down again, and up to your nose, down again, and up to your forehead. And now create a marvelous frame, a big circle, beautiful healing circle of energy. And that's really allowing, supporting the flexibility of your shoulder blades, your shoulders, neck, and head. And now relax your hands on your lap. Yeah, we did it again, so now you got another approximation. Language of touch is very important. When I teach my trainees how to touch, I teach them with what's called the open and listening hand, that they listen with their hands. And now very slowly.
Training Rubenfeld Synergists begins with a series of exercises that both awaken and sensitize students to the power of touch.
Being aware of your own energy and the energy of your partner. Slowly move towards your partner, very slowly, and give yourself the opportunity to experience what it's like when you make the first contact. What is that energy like when you touch? When we begin a workshop or a training and everyone lies down on the floor, it's very interesting how when you're supported horizontally, lying on your back on the floor, you can really let go of holding on. So that all that's left is very deep holding patterns that won't let go. Even though the floor is supporting you, you're still holding on. That's what's left. Now, in these very gentle body-mind movements, when you do these movements slowly and thoughtfully, it's like a meditation. So while you're doing the movement, you're also listening to what's happening in your body. You're also allowing the places that are holding to begin loosening up. So for instance, I could do a whole sequence that eventually will open your chest, which means your heart, your whole heart area will open. Sometimes while you're doing this movement sequence, tears may roll down your face. Someone may start to cry, someone may start to laugh. Lots of feelings begin to bubble up that are there in your body. But by lying down and doing these movements very quietly and thoughtfully, you begin to allow a release to happen on your own. So these movements accomplish something unique and beautiful when you don't have someone to touch you. You can do this movement with yourself, with no one touching you, and the result may be some of the same results. And you're going to follow me.
Okay. I see.
I see, she says, okay? I see as she feels. Okay, now you with me? You feel my fingers?
I do.
Okay, this is how shoulder release happens. All right. She got this. She has, you know, this is it. You're right, you got it. If I slip my hand under someone's back and I say to them, is there something you'd like to release? And they say yes, but their body says, no way. Their body says, I'm not ready to release that. Are you kidding? So we'll keep talking. My hands stay there, my hands stay there, my hands stay there, and they continue talking. And then there's a word or a sentence that they say, and the energy starts moving. And that's the cue. And I have them repeat that word, and I talk to them again, and now I know they're really ready to release because their somatic system and their body and their physical system says, I'm ready to let that go. And that's much more primitive than the words. The body remembers first before words. There was touch before words.
The concept of the body possessing memories that can be accessed by touch has been confirmed by current research. Dr. Werner Kundig is a professor of anatomy and physiology who is on Ilana's faculty. Others in the scientific community are now beginning to enthusiastically embrace body-mind therapy. For the first time, therapists can truly treat the whole person.
So when's the last time you remember crying when you were a little boy? When you were Bobby? I know that. So what was the game you two were playing?
Oh, probably like a cops and robbers or cowboys or something.
So do it. Everyone who volunteers to do a session usually gets into universal themes. They become the archetype. Their session is the archetype of everyone in the room. If they're dealing with death or separation or early trauma or having their fathers or mother accept them for where they are, someone in the room is dealing with that.
I feel sad. I feel sad for you.
I feel sad for you.
Actually, I feel like it's my father.
It's your father.
I want to talk to him.
Okay. Okay. So
that's
talk.
where it comes from.
Okay. So talk to your father.
Just accept me for the way I am and stop pushing me.
Yeah. Yes, let that right through, Bruce. Yeah. Let me be. Yeah. Stop pushing me. Controlling me. Yeah.
want to be me.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Oh. Oh, please. Oh, don't do this.
Keep breathing, Bruce. It's hard for a little boy when you have such a big daddy who's controlling you all the time. You willing to do an experiment, Bruce?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bruce, look at this negative daddy. He's the one that really controlled you and told you what to do. And you tell him whatever you like to tell me.
When I'm around you, I feel controlled. I feel like I don't have any space for myself. I don't even look at you. I don't need you. He's still my father.
I know. Both of these are your father. I got news for you. You got two fathers. Two fathers, Bruce. How about that? This father over here is the father.
Hi, Daddy.
All right. Happening fast. It's happening fast.
I'd like you to tell me that you love me. I'd like you to tell me that you care for me. I'd like you to hold me.
So start with,
I love you, Bruce.
No matter who you are, no matter how you are, I love you.
No matter who you are, no matter what you do.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You to throw away your yardstick and just let me be. Just
This
be
one
your
does.
son.
This one is,
I want
that,
to
you got
throw
it.
away-
Take a deep breath, Bruce, and tell him, I am not going to use your yardstick anymore.
I'm not going to use your yardstick anymore. I don't want it.
Right.
Keep it to yourself. I'll never look at him the same way.
He's never going to look at his father the same way because he'll see the yardstick up the ass, out the mouth. I don't know where he's got the, but it's all over the place, huh?
Please hold me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I gotcha.
You can put your arms around him, Bruce.
There we go.
There's the arms around him. Everybody breathe, 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 breathe. It's the way he is. You can go right to this feeling, the feeling you have right now that fills your whole body and soul with a beautiful sense of love and beauty. Yeah. All our lives, the men who are fathers and husbands and sons. Tell me some of the situations you're confident in yourself.
Okay. Well, I can run my own practice, and I can jump off a 50-foot telephone pole, and I could walk over coal.
Would you say that again?
I can also say no when I don't want to do something.
Yeah. So take a breath. Okay, so the sadness. Feel the sadness. All right, let's have it. Yes, this sadness. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And you know how to do no. So what do you say to yourself?
I'd say yes to myself.
Okay. So start with that.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
go ahead, keep doing.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes. Yes. Yes, Sharon, you can do it. When you were reading that article,
yes.
I'm not.
Okay, breathe and start if I can walk across 50 feet of hot coals. Amazing to me, isn't it?
I can walk across 50 feet of hot coals.
I can jump off a 50-foot pole.
And I can jump off a 50-foot pole.
So don't mess around with me.
So don't mess around with me.
Right, yeah. So add what you don't want anybody, male, female, animal, to do with you.
And I'm not available for sex when I don't want to be.
I'm not available for sex when I don't want to be.
I'm not available for sex when I don't want to be.
Right, okay. I can walk over 50 feet of hot coals.
I can walk over 50 feet of hot coals.
I can jump off a 50-foot pole.
I can jump off a 50-foot pole.
So don't mess around with me.
So don't mess around with me.
When I don't want to have sex, you don't touch me.
When I don't want to have sex, you don't touch me.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. Good. Same energy. The minute you feel, come back to those coals again.
Okay.
All right.
I can walk across 50 foot of hot coals. I can jump off telephone poles. I can do whatever I want. And when I don't want to have sex, you can't mess with me.
I love it.
I can tell anybody I want that I don't want to have sex with them when I don't want to.
That's right.
Yep.
Harry, I can tell anybody that I don't want to have sex with them if I don't want to.
Yay.
Betsy, I can tell people to fuck off.
So the heart said it was terrible to suffer inside. Now what does a hand say?
The hand is numb again.
Yeah. When you suffered inside, the hand got numb.
Yeah.
Very important clue. When you suffer inside and really feel suffering inside, and it's locked in your heart, this is very important. It goes right up and it makes your hand numb.
Yeah.
All right, let's try an experiment. Open your eyes, look at me. Ilana, I feel suffering inside. I have suffering inside.
Ilana, I feel suffering inside.
Yes. Chris, I see that you feel suffering inside. And that you worry about your children, and that you worry with the car accident. You worry all about them. You worry what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and that you suffer.
I worry for the unknown.
You worry for the unknown, for the future. I know something you don't worry about.
Yeah. Tell me.
Tai Chi.
Oh.
Oh, oh, oh.
Tai Chi. Oh,
Tai Chi.
I didn't practice Tai Chi at the moment.
Yeah, I know, but you don't worry about it.
No.
See, I knew.
No.
You do not worry about Tai Chi.
Not to worry too much.
I am now doing something not to worry. Not I should, I am now doing this. And one of the most important aspects of my training is while you learn to work with a client and be with a client, you're also taking care of yourself. You're monitoring your physical being, you're listening to your emotional self, you're constantly reflecting inside what is happening to you and me at the same time. And in my training, I teach specific ways of taking care of yourself while you are working with the client so that the synergist doesn't take on the aches and pain of the client.
The Rubenfeld Synergy Method provides practitioners with a number of exercises and tools that allow them to take care of themselves while tending to their clients' needs. Ilana herself exercises regularly and spends time in replenishing surroundings. Here at Esalen, to which she returns each year, she finds the beautiful surroundings to be replenishing and healing. Ilana is also very close to her family. Here, her mother, seen before her death, her sister Lydia, and Lydia's son provide the emotional sustenance so necessary to someone in her line of work. From this unpretentious brownstone, Ilana Rubenfeld, in her own way, plans to change the world.
How to use whatever material that comes out in the session in their life. After the session is over, how do they take that little kernel, that gem, that theme, and they take it and use it in their life outside of the session? Having people really realize that they have the potential to heal themselves. People say I'm a healer. I'm really not. I mean, I may be a healer, but I cannot heal you. You must heal yourself. The client must heal themselves. Therefore, at a workshop, people may come to me with the hope that I will heal something that's been bothering them for 30, 40 years. All I can do is create an atmosphere, an environment of openness and trust, and teach them the tools and the ways to allow each individual to listen to their own healing potential. That each person can really become skilled, very quickly become skilled at recognizing that they can have the intelligence to listen to their own body, mind, and to heal themselves and to support other people's healing.
Keep a fire burning in your eye, and pay attention to the open sky. You never know what will be coming down. I don't remember losing track of you. You were always dancing in a...
And I truly believe that the gentleness of this work has a message to the future of our planet and to the future of our universe. That we need to be gentle to nature, gentle to ourselves, and there's a lot of healing that we as human beings, family, communities, and countries need. And that isn't going to happen with force and by pushing. That's never brought healing. And I have great confidence that Rubenfeld Synergy is a metaphor and embodies the kind of attitude and approach that will help each of us heal ourselves and heal the planet.